the December 9th, 2021 legislative session into session. First, we're going to start with a public hearing at 2 o'clock, or 2:06.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Notice of public hearing. Please take notice that the Oswego County Legislature shall hold a public hearing on proposed County of Oswego Local Law Number 3, 2021, titled "The Local Law Providing for the Salaries of Certain Elected County Officers of the County of Oswego," on the 9th day of December 2021 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon of said day, the County Legislative Chambers, County Office Building, 46 East Bridge Street, Oswego, 13126. As the purpose and intent of this local law to establish the salaries for the offices of County Clerk, County Sheriff, County Treasurer, County Legislator from January 1, 2022 through January 1, 2025 by order of the Oswego County Legislature, November 10, 2021, Betsy Sherman Saunders, Clerk. Any persons wishing to be heard on proposed County of Oswego Local Law Number 3, please step forward and state your name.
There are none.
There being no persons wishing to be heard, Mr. Chairman, I request to declare the public hearing closed at 2:07.
Thank you. So done. Now call our regular meeting to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Michael Yerden.
Present.
Herbert Yerden.
Present.
Edward Gilson.
Here.
David Poles.
Here.
Roy Reba.
Here.
John Martino.
Here.
Bradley Trudell.
Here.
Paul House.
Here.
James Weatherup.
Here.
Mary Ellen Chesbro.
Here.
Linda Lockwood. Here. Richard Klein.
Present.
Patrick Twist has been excused. Stephen Walpole.
Here.
Nathan Emmons.
Here.
Thomas Drum.
Here.
Lori Nagano. Here. Robert Wilmot.
Here.
Marie Shaw. Here. Tim Stahl.
Here.
Terry Wilbur.
Here.
James Karasik.
Here.
Morris Cervello.
Here.
Mark Brecka.
Here.
Ralph Stacy Jr.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, there's 24 present and 1 excused from the quorum.
Thank you. Would now legislator from the 25th District, Ralph Stacy Jr., lead us in the invocation.
Heavenly Creator, as we gather here today, we seek your guidance. May wisdom fall upon us as we gather in the people's chambers today. Grant us clarity so that we can effectively tackle each part of today's agenda. Let problem areas be revealed to us and open our eyes to the best solutions that will apply. Direct us to every positive outcome since our last meeting, and let those favorable results and developments encourage every heart in this room. Help us to apply your wisdom as we decide on the matters brought before us and as we make accompanying plans. May God bless the great county of Oswego and always guide the hearts of the representatives of the people both now and into the future. Amen.
And now the pledge. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I trust we've seen the minutes from the just November 10th meeting. For motion. Motion to approve. Second. Multiple seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay. Proclamations. Very proud. The Veteran of the Year. Legislator Trudell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, do we have the Human Services Committee come up? And James and Carol Dillabau.
All right, is everybody ready?
Almost.
There we go. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And a second. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to hold for another minute, please. Don't have a table. Okay. Okay. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And a second. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
The Oswego County Legislature recognizes James J. Dillbaugh, whereas a community is created by the hearts and actions of its citizens and sustained by those dedicated to its prosperity and inspired by the special heroes within it. And whereas the security of our nation and the rights of the people rely on individuals that voluntarily enlist in the uniformed armed forces, knowingly accepting potential great risk and sacrificing themselves and their loved ones for the security, safety, and well-being of every community and the entire nation. And whereas these men and women may make entire careers in the active duty or the reserve duty components of the federal or National Guard units, and whereas these men and women return to civilian life and continue to participate in civic endeavors and provide significant volunteer contributions to community welfare, and whereas because of the great sacrifices you have made, your friends and neighbors have nominated you to be publicly recognized for your dedication and continued service to America and the citizens of Oswego County as an Armed Forces veteran and local volunteer. Now therefore be it resolved that we, James Weatherup, Chairman of the Oswego County Legislature, and Thomas Drum, Legislator of District 16, and on behalf of the legislator and the people of Oswego County, do hereby recognize the inspiring commitment, service, and selflessness, and recognize James J. Dillbaugh as Oswego County Veteran of the Year. Signed, James Weatherup and Thomas Drum.
I can't do this, what I do, which I love doing, without the support of the Oswego Elks Lodge number 271, I'm the veteran co-chair there, and with the city of Oswego, with all the help we get for Memorial Day and throughout the year, and with my wife Carol, she's my backbone. Thank you very much. Enjoy what I do.
Thank you. This time, going to announce we're all going to face this at some point. We have some retirements today. So if Legislator Drum can come forward. Legislator Drum, let me know and said he can serve beer on. Legislator Drum started here in 2016. He's been on the Human Services and the Government Courts and Consumer Affairs Committee, and in 2020 he was the minority leader.
Can you tip that Jim up a little bit on your end?
It's still here.
Okay. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 3. Got it, thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank a couple of people. I'll be brief because I know we got an agenda to get to, but I just wanted to thank some of the people I've worked with here. Certainly all the department heads, they've been terrific. Betsy Saunders, who's kind of the backbone of this place, I think we all agree. Phil Church, Richie Mitchell, who were really good to a young 20-something-year-old when he first started out, and listened to all his wild and crazy ideas and never passed any judgment. So a big thank you to them. Legislator Marie Schad, who I've had the pleasure of serving with and going to battle with the past couple of years. And of course, I want to thank my parents who are in attendance today. I am a product of my parents. I love them very much, and I hope that I've done them proud in this process. So this will forever be the first chapter and hopefully a long journey of mine. And it's been a heck of an experience, both up and down at points. But I got in this business to try to help people. And 6 years later, I think I still have that desire. I think through good governance and good policy and responsible, fiscal policy, that folks can be helped through government. And I wish you all the best of luck moving forward. The challenges are still steep. I think we're all well aware of that. So, thank you. Good luck. And I'll see you around.
At this point, I would like to call the legislator from the 25th District up, Ralph Stacy Jr. Ralph has been here since 2020 and has been on the Health and Governance, Sports and Consumer Affairs Committee. And let us in the invocation.
All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And the second. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Order here, sir.
All right, I'll tell you what, 2-year term, serving during COVID's been a heck of an experience. I didn't think that's what I was signing up for, but I worked with some fantastic people here, 24 other fantastic people, plus our clerk of legislature and her assistants, Bill Church, Rich, everybody. You've all been great, you all taught me something, right? You all taught me to keep standing for what's right. You all taught me to keep pushing forward and representing people like that. And you all taught me a little bit about myself too, some of my own weaknesses. I thank you all for that. May God bless you all and keep leading you on as you keep pushing forward for Justice County. Thanks.
Thank you. Legislator from the District 7, Bradley Trudell. And I've had beer with Bradley, this will work.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And a second. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Wow. Having been around the world a little bit and been in places where they don't have the freedoms, they don't have the opportunities, they don't have at all what America has, it's a tremendous experience, wonderful experience, and a pleasure to be able to participate in a democracy, in a republic like we have in this country. And I greatly appreciate every one of my colleagues in this room that has helped me out and does so much work for our communities and for this country and for what is represented by this flag behind us. And it genuinely has been a pleasure, and I'm not necessarily going away. I'm going to be sticking around and doing things for the community, what I can for each one of you. And thank you each one of you that helped me out. So, thanks again.
Thank you. This next gentleman originally came here in 1996. We're not going to talk about your vacation you had. From 2001 to 2003, he was chairman of the legislature. He has served on EDP, Health, Human Services, and Public Safety. And he was the chair for EDP and health for many years. Legislator Sorvello. This one takes one.
On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And a second. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Here, sir.
Well, what can I say? These long years have been well worth every bit of it. There's times when I can't say I've enjoyed it, but I've enjoyed it immensely with this fine group of people. And all the people who work for the county, involved with the county. I've had great reception, cured anything I wanted and needed to know. Our workforce, our leaders in the different departments, everybody's been fantastic. I can remember on 9/11 being one of my, at one of the times, and I went to ground zero with a number of people and so on. I've had the interest to be able to be involved with that kind of stuff. It's been fantastic. I would like to, at this point, introduce Mike Salloway, taking my place. Mike? Mike can do a good job. He can do something like play instruments, which I can't do. But he's a great guy and a town of Granby and has a good religious background and common sense. But I want you to know that every one of you, I love you dearly. It doesn't make any difference what party you belong to, you're all my family. Thank God. God bless every one of you. And I will certainly miss you, but I'll still get a chance maybe I can come back and just peek in. So thanks everybody for your support, your interest, and everything else. The finest people are in this room and in the county. Thank you.
All right, well, that concludes today's event. This next gentleman has been here quite a while. He was the youngest legislator elected in Oswego County at the age of 21 in the year 2010. He's been the majority leader for the last couple of years. He served on public safety, the finance and personnel, government, health, and EDP. He's been a chair for public safety, finance, personnel, and government. My friend, Dick.
All right. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And the second. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's a dangerous spot to put me in on the floor, and give me the microphone, I'll be real. First and foremost, I'd like to, my mother's here, I'd like to thank her. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have had the inspiration to run for office. And just a note about her, not to embarrass her, but she's closing out 27 years between a town board member and a town supervisor in our town. So congratulations to you, Mom, and thanks for inspiring me to do what I do today and every day. Secondly, but just as important, and maybe even more important, I'd like to thank the constituents of District 21. They put faith in a 21-year-old at the time, sent me down here to Oswego, and wanted me to do their business for them. And quite honestly, they put me back 6 terms in a row, and I couldn't be more prouder to have that privilege and that honor to do that for my district, both Hannibal and Oswego Town. It's pretty tough for me to be up here today. I'm sorry. I've kind of dreaded this since the beginning of the year. I'm not leaving county government. I'm going to stay around as your clerk. I want to do the best ever job for you is there, and I know I will strive every day to do that. Some of my best friends are sitting in this room here. You've all been family to me. And when you Republicans made me your majority leader, I took it serious. Don't ever forget that we're all family in this room. Marie and Tom, I've had the pleasure of working with both of you as leader. I
I couldn't ask for better people across the aisle. Even text messages back and forth of, well, what's your problem today? But as you can see, we've been successful in getting consent agendas, moving this legislative body forward, moving our county government forward. We're trying to move things. Government works at a slow pace sometimes, but with the help of across the aisle, we've been able to move a lot of things forward. I'm not going to bore you with too much more, but I just want to thank you, each and every one of you, for the greatest honor of my life. I'll leave it at that. Thank you too. I'd like to note at this point that there is cake and coffee afterwards, as there are some people celebrating Terry's exit. That'll be in the back after the meeting. Thank you. Moving now to introduction visitors. Legislator Wilbur. So I just have one introduction that I would like to make, and that is for the person who will be replacing me in District 21. I'd like to congratulate her on her victory and welcome her to the floor. And that's Noelle Samuelson. I think she'll do a tremendous job in leading our district forward. So congratulations and welcome to the legislature. Public speakers on resolutions of the day. Legislator Wilbur. There are none. Reports of county officials. Reports of standing committees. Legislator Trudell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. From the Veteran Service Advisory Committee, I would like to mention that recently, as we got together and selected James Hillbaugh as our Veteran of the Year, there were 7 submissions, 7 nominations were made. And each one of the nominees will receive a certificate as well. I'd like to read for the record their names. The clerk has their names, but I would like to read them anyway. The first, Herbert Hawker was nominated. Douglas Bauer was nominated. Sidney Parkhurst was nominated. Kurt Wehrman was nominated. Bill MacArthur was nominated. Benjamin Richardson was nominated. And I would just like to add that it was, we've been getting some just tremendous nominees, tremendous stories from each one of these. And it's tough at times to put together who is going to ultimately be our Veteran of the Year. And our committee does a great job of vetting them, looking over them. I'd also like to thank the people that actually make the nominations and go out and do this stuff. They're extremely valuable in our communities, and there's no veteran that could do what they do, like Mr. Hillbaugh mentioned. We could do what we do without those people that provide that support. So those certificates will be mailed out to each one of these individuals, and I'm hoping that we get as many or more nominations next year. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Reports of special committees. For standing, special committees. Sorry. Legislator Sobel.
What I'd like to do, I got up there and I did forget. My wife would like very much have been here today, but in the process of our granddaughter getting married, she missed a step. She has a broken arm and shoulder, just recently operated on, and she's in a lot of pain and stuff, and she would love to have been here, but without her, I could have never done what I've done in this legislature, so I just wanted to thank everyone. It's like anything else, you forget sometimes, but she's been a fantastic person in my life, and without her, I would not have been able to do what I could for this organization. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, seems how we're doing encore here, and I'll lead by the lead. One major thing that stood to me just, and it's not like me to be lost for words, but I truly was up there, and I wanted to do this in the worst way, and I totally slipped my mind, but our employees in Oswego County. We can't do what we do here in this county without our employees, our department heads, our staff. Special thanks to Betsy, Chanel, Phil, Richie, Jen, and every employee that we have. So I truly am remiss that I didn't say that when I was up front, but please forgive me for that. And I look forward to being on the other side of this someday.
Thanks, Sue.
Thank you. There's a number of us waiting for you to get the other side.
Yeah,
All right, moving now to resolutions and motions for the day. Government Courts and Consumer Affairs by Legislator Holt.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk, well, we have some,
We'll have it amended.
we have a number that are consent, right? Resolutions GC 5, 6, 8, and 9 are by consent.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to pass the following as a block by consent, GC 5, 6, 8, and 9, and please, chairs, take note of your agendas.
Man, they're going to show you the door. All right, resolution GC 1 by Legislator Holt.
Mr. Chairman, I
No, you gotta vote on it.
Vote on one. Second. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Sorry. Back to Legislator Holt.
We're back to GC 1.
GC 1.
Urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
A resolution adopting County of Oswego and local law number 2, establishing the office of the Oswego County Public Defender.
Okay, this will have to be amended. Want to do that this time? Okay, it has to be changed, we'll have to go to general powers, paragraph B, halfway down. This has to be added, the term crime shall be the following: misdemeanor or breach of any law of this state or any law, local law, or ordinance of the political subdivision of this state, other than one defined in traffic infraction, for which is set for criminal enforcement, and are authorized upon conviction.
Second that.
So we have a second on the amendment. Any discussion? Multiple seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Back to the original then as amended. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor and 1 excused.
Thank you. Resolution GC2 will be at our 7 p.m. session. Resolution GC3 by Legislator Holt.
I'd like to offer this resolution for its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution fixing the time and place for the 2022 organizational meeting.
Okay, the time of this will be on January 6, 2022 at 2 p.m. at this building.
Any discussion? Legislator Drum.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to offer an amendment to change the meeting of the time from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Seconded by Legislator Schott. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 2 in favor, 22 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Back to the original resolution then. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 22 in favor, 2 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Resolution GC4 by Legislator Holt.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to offer this resolution for its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution renewing lease with Operation Oswego County, Inc. for the Board of Elections.
Yes, this is for us to keep the building they're at until we have a new place to move to. It's in process.
Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Schott.
Mr. Chairman, I certainly hope we expediently move to the new location because, as the old saying goes, we spent good money after bad.
Thank you. Legislator Drum.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to echo Legislator Schott's sentiments. This county gives Operation Oswego County roughly $417,000 per year. I've harped on this resolution. We do it annually. I won't be around, but I think it's critical that this is the last year that you guys pay this. Respectfully, to Operation Oswego County, this is quite ridiculous that we pay this amount of money for the space that we're currently in. It's dilapidated, it's outdated, it's borderline unusable. So I don't think we should be paying this money to them in the first place after they receive almost $500,000 from the county already. But I wish you guys well and wish you guys expedite that transfer over to Bunker Street as best you can. I know it is in the works, but the time is certainly now. So good luck to you all.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 22 in favor, 2 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Resolutions GC 5 and 6 have been by consent. Resolution GC 7.
GC 7, I'd like to offer this resolution for first adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution approving and confirming the sale and transfer of certain foreclosed tax property pursuant to RPT 1166.
This will also have to be amended, so everybody has a new list, I believe. There's many properties, I believe.
We have a motion to amend, second by legislator Wilbur. Any discussion on the amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Back to the original resolution then. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Resolutions GC 8 and 9 have been by consent. Moving now to Public Safety Committee for the last time. Now legislator Wilbur.
I think there's another resolution.
Oh, there's one at second, too.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to pass the following as a block by general consent, PS 1 through 4.
A second, Leon? We have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Resolution PS 5 by legislator Wilbur.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and I wholeheartedly urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing the retention of an auditor regarding drug task force accounts.
As you are aware, we in this budget process, we will be transferring the drug task force from district attorney's office over to the sheriff's department. Before we do so, we would like to have all the financials and everything audited to make sure it's clean and neat before the sheriff takes it over.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Moving now to Human Services Committee, legislator Rita.
Mr. Chairman, I'd offer a motion to pass as a block HS1 through HS5, HS7, and HS8.
We have a second. Second. We have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Following resolution and urge its passage.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution awarding professional services contract RFP 21-OFA-004-door-to-door senior transportation.
This is for door-to-door transportation. One-way trip was $35 to Oswego County Opportunities, since they were the only respondent to the RFP, and $70 for a round trip.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Hands?
Yeah.
Hands?
Keep your hands up, would you?
Mr. Chairman, that's 19 in favor, 5 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Moving now to Economic Development and Planning Committee, legislator Stahl.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to pass the following as a block by general consent, EPs 2 through 5.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Wait a second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Moving on, legislator Stahl.
All right, I'd like to bring this resolution forward and urge its adoption, EP 1.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing the county attorney's office to initiate litigation against Addis Ethanol Fulton LLC pursuant to General Municipal Law 8746 regarding a defaulted Oswego County Industrial Development Authority pilot agreement.
Yeah, so the ethanol was awarded a pilot. They did not make payment, and thus the pilot was removed. And due to that, the only way for the county to get the money owed is to bring suit. $148,416 is the amount owed, and this would be the resolution needed in order to look to recover that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Jones.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank the county attorney for being proactive as far as this goes. Unfortunately, I can't really say the same about the industrial agency. They don't, in my opinion, seem to want to be a willing partner in this endeavor. This on a more macro scale, the way we execute these pilots and the way that these are delivered, criteria has to change. I mean, this type of stuff is just unacceptable at the end of the day, and unfortunately the IDA decides that they want to let the county handle and essentially do their bidding for them. So this is a good move by us. The county attorney did a great job in our caucus of explaining the ins and outs of this, but again, it doesn't seem that the IDA is necessarily a willing partner at the table when it comes to this. But it extends to a larger problem of pilot agreements in this county in general. There has to be such a reform, not only on a statewide basis, but in this county on pilot agreements, how they're executed, how the framework is, because unfortunately this type of stuff happens, and it's going to continue to happen in a lot of cases. So it's a shame. But again, thank you to the county attorney for being proactive on this.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Moving now to Health Committee, Legislator Karasik.
Mr. Chairman, fellow legislators, I would like to offer HE 1, 2, and 3 to be considered as a block.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Seconded by Legislator Stacy. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Karasik, HE 4.
Again, fellow legislators, and Mr. Chairman, I would like to offer HE 4 for your consideration.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution to accept New York State Public Health Corps Fellowship Program funding.
So this is a unique opportunity. It's run through Cornell. It is $1.8 million to bring on 12 fellowship students for the health department. These are people that are finishing their degrees, that just got them, or are completing them. And this money will cover their wages and benefits for a 2-year period of time. It gives us a little bit of breathing room. It also affords us an opportunity for future vacancies that would appear in the health department or any changes that we would be looking at that will not cost us anything during this time period.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Infrastructure, Facilities, and Technology Committee, Legislator Walpole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I could, I'd like to make a motion to move IT 1 through IT 5 as a block.
Thank you.
Second.
And multiple seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving now to Finance and Personnel, Legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to pass the FB 1 and 6 as a block for consent.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you then. Legislator Wilbur.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to waive the rules for consideration of PS6, EP6, and FP9 at this point in the meeting.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you, sir. And now back to resolution. Which one was first? Legislator Lewis?
PS6.
PS6. So this is your last shot.
Maybe. We'll figure that out.
Resolution PS6 by Legislator Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution transferring accounts and property of the Drug Task Force from the Office of the District Attorney to the Office of the Sheriff.
So as a result of the changes that we'll make to the budget, we have to formally move the, all of that stuff from the DA's office to the sheriff's office and urge your adoption.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Resolutions, EP by Legislator Salloway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I bring this resolution forward and I urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution opposing the New York Energy Research and Development Authority, NYSERDA, proposal to facilitate the siting of wind towers, Great Lakes Offshore Wind Project in Lake Ontario.
Yeah, so there's a study going on, started in February of 2021. The state's working with NYSERDA to look at putting these wind projects on our lake. And there's a number of points that are made in this resolution, many of which have concerns about effect on our fishing, effect on the raptors, bird populations, effect of farming, a lot of concerns. And many of these concerns were brought up over the last few months to those who are conducting this study. No responses have been given, no answers have been provided. There are a lot of concerns, and we've had some concerns with these types of projects in the past when we received some answers. And at this point, we are very concerned about the long-term effects to the environment, to our fishing community, and a number of other things. So I would encourage, it's 3 pages long, but I would encourage everyone to get a copy of this to check it out. There's a real strong reason for concern here, and I would urge all of you to back this opposition at this point without further information. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Carrasco.
Yeah, I spent some time ago that we had this whole thing with a different type of effect that windmills in the lake would cause. As a result of that conversation, former legislator Tressetter and I went out west with a group from this county. And in fact, there's a picture of me hugging a windmill. It was really just to see if it moved. People had a lot of fun with that photo. But the end result was some of the things that we were educated on dispelled a lot of myths. Other things confirmed a lot of things that we thought were productive in having windmills. The one conversation that we had from almost everyone we met when we discussed the potential of putting them in Lake Ontario was, don't do it. Just don't walk that path. There's times they leak. There's times they catch fire. That's not common. The impact of that on land is extremely minimal. The impact of that happening offshore of our county is much greater, and I would strongly recommend that this body pass this resolution opposing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other Legislator Gilson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is another prime example of the state's lack of coordination with the federal government. We know there's a study currently going on for a marine sanctuary there, and another example of their overreach into our home rule laws and giving us the right to protect our rule, our own county. So I suggest and would ask everybody to support this resolution.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain.
Mr. Chairman, that's 23 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 excused, and 1 abstaining.
Thank you. Resolution FP9 by legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing execution of an agreement with the CSEA County of Oswego Office Personnel Unit.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have an amendment to this resolution. In the last resolve, that should read, resolve that the county treasurer be and he hereby is authorized to transfer the funds from unappropriated fund balance to increase existing appropriations for various funds and several offices and departments in accordance with the resolution, and that a certified copy of this resolution be delivered to the county treasurer shall be his authority to effect such transfer and make such adjustments.
Second. Thank you. Thank you. We have a second. Any discussion on the amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
All right. At this point, I'd like to personally thank...
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, wait, you're right, Speedy.
Resolution as
Back to
amended.
the resolution as amended. Legislator Murphy.
Yeah, resolution. We can vote.
Any discussion on the original resolution?
We all know that that says for the contract for the CSEA.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Right. What I got...
Oh, Mr. Chairman, I would like to say one more thing pertaining to the contract. I apologize. Hey, everybody else is doing it today. I want to say thank you very much to all of our team, Legislator Walpole, Legislator Trudell. Worked very hard to get us to this, along with our administrator and everybody who was involved in this. I think they did a fantastic job, and I really appreciate it in this body that appreciates what they did to get us here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Legislator Martino, for stealing my speech.
You shouldn't have left the notes out.
All right, so Legislator Wilbur.
No resolutions for now. I would entertain a motion, or I would present a motion to go into executive session pertaining to proposed or pending litigation, or the county attorney can say what I should say.
Executive session regarding the matter of Town of Mexico versus County of Oswego, which is pending litigation.
Well, it's happening.
And then after
We will
executive
recess
session,
until 7 o'clock, but we'll come out of the executive session. I'll have to make a formal motion to recess, and then we'll come back to 7.
I just wanted the people to know that
No
there'll be
action
no real
until
business after, until 7 o'clock when we reconvene. So at this point, motion to go into executive session? For a motion to come out of recess? Motion made, multiple seconds. Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Notice of public hearing. Please take notice that a public hearing will be held at 7 o'clock p.m. on the 9th day of December 2021 in the Legislative Chambers, 4th floor, Oswego County Office Building, 46 East Bridge Street, Oswego, New York, at which time all persons desiring to express their view may be heard in the matter of the consideration of tentative county budget of the County of Oswego for fiscal year 2022 by order of the County Legislature, November 10, 2021, Betsy Sherman Saunders, Clerk. Any persons wishing to be heard on the tentative county budget for fiscal year 2022, please step forward and state your name.
Legislator Wilbur.
There are none signed up.
Thank you.
There being no persons wishing to be heard, Mr. Chairman, I request you declare the public hearing closed at 7:03.
Thank you. So done. Moving on now to proclamations. Legislator Wilbur, if you come forward.
Public Safety Committee wants to come up.
Picture mentor. No, you're good, I got you. Give me just like a tiny bit tighter. Alright, 3, 2, 1. And then let's get a couple other good measure. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So this is the Oswego County Legislature recognizes Emma Wells. Whereas a community is created in the hearts of its citizens, sustained by those dedicated to its prosperity, and inspired by its heroes of everyday life. Whereas the skills, competence, and courage of Oswego County citizens are priceless community assets, critical to the protection of our families and particularly evident in moments of crisis. And whereas on October 22nd, 2020, at bedtime, Emma Wells, currently 6 years old, was alone with her mother Megan at their house in Hannibal when Emma heard her mother scream. And whereas Emma went into her mother's bedroom and found her laying on the ground not breathing. And whereas Megan was having a grand mal seizure, fell off the bed and hit her head on the end table. And whereas Emma knew she needed help, needed to comfort her mom, she quickly unlocked Megan's phone, called for help, and then opened the garage for her grandmother and ambulance to arrive. Whereas Emma Wells was recognized as a hero through the American Red Cross, and now, therefore, be it resolved that I, James Weatherup, Chairman of the Legislature, and on behalf of the Legislature and the people of Oswego County, do hereby recognize Emma Wells as an Oswego County hero and commend her for her remarkable demonstration of courage and bravery for her heroic act. You know, Emma, that what you did was just unbelievable, especially at such a young age. You truly are a hero. I'm sure you make your parents very, very proud, and I know you made me proud as your local legislator and the county as a whole. Thank you so much for what you've done. I don't know if anybody wants to say anything. Thank you. Yep. All right. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Great job.
Thank you. Sheriff Milton, if you could come forward.
You don't need to arrest me forever.
I know you got a lot of important work to do, so I just want to make this short. I want to recognize a couple people. Brad. This is for, on behalf of the Sheriff's Department and myself. We wanted to thank you for the work you did on both CSI and the Public Safety Committee. CSI was, at the very beginning, was our project, and we decided early on that we needed to concentrate on the school kids. And we've managed to put armed deputies or police officers in every school district, with the exception of one in this county. That was because of the CSI. And the other project that we worked on together was the police reform. That was really your deal. And I want to thank you again for it. And you, just right from the beginning.
You know, public safety, I went to college actually to be a deputy. And I got out of college and I became a legislator, and I couldn't be my own boss. And when the chairman asked me to chair public safety, I said, I don't want to do that. I've never been to a committee. But for the last 3 years, public safety has been my niche, and I absolutely love doing it. Sheriff, you and your department, I can't say enough about it. We need to be proud of all of our public safety departments, all of our departments, but being chair of public safety for another 22 days, it's a complete honor. So thank you.
Matt, you guys see.
One more for good measure, 3, 2. Good to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislator Wilbur, do you have anything?
Oh, yes, sorry. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to waive the rules for Resolution IT-6 and GC-10.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution IT-6 by Legislator Walpole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After the following resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing execution of supplemental consultant agreement number 1 with CNS Engineers, Inc., New York State Department of Transportation, project number 3904.03K007426, 10 Bay T Hangar construction, administration, and observation.
Mr. Chairman, it is as written, it's expanding the existing capital project. $29,500.
Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Shaw.
Is this any cost to us?
No additional cost.
No additional cost? I just wonder if the FAA really knew how many planes flew in, how much money we really get. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 23 in favor, 1 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Does the clerk note that Legislator Stahl is excused?
Yes, I'm on excused.
Thank you. Moving then to other resolutions, Resolution FP7 by
GC10.
We'll do two, then
GC10.
all right, GC10 by Legislator Holmes.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution establishing salary schedule for commissioners of the Board of Elections pursuant to New York State Elections Law 3-20H.
This is for our 2 commissioners of election, due to increased responsibility and numerous changes in new election law, and with its compliance. As effective January 1st, 2022, the salary was $65,402. Effective January 1st, 2023, it was $67,364. And in 2024, it was $69,385.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Now, Resolution FP7 by Legislator Martino. FP2, B7. Oh, I read the name, the number wrong. It's FP. FP7. Oh, got it. Sorry. My bad.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
A resolution adopting County of Oswego Local Law Number 3 of 2021, a local law providing for the salaries of certain county officers of the County of Oswego.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a local law for resolution for the elected to set their salaries for the upcoming fiscal season.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Mr. Chairman, that's 22 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 excused because Mr. Karasik stepped out, and 1 abstained.
Thank you. Resolution FP8 by legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have this resolution urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing and ratifying a memorandum of understanding by and between the County of Oswego and the Oswego County Professional Association.
This is a renewal on the memorandum that we put in place earlier this year due to the not able to do the overtime for the ACPA labor duty. This is, we're redoing this for a term of 6 months.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 22 in favor, 0 opposed, and 2 excused.
Thank you. Resolution FP2 by legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution adopting county budget for the fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2022.
This is obviously the budget that is presented in front of us. I would certainly urge its adoption.
Thank you. We have Legislator Chesbro, do you have anything?
Yes, I move to adjust the following budget lines in the Office of Strategic Initiatives, which will result in no net change to the levy.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Multiple seconds, Mike, you're being one. Any discussion?
Just for a point of order, we're voting on the motions of the overall budget at this point, right?
We're just doing the
Thank you.
Yeah, the amendments are first.
The amendments are first.
The amendments are first. Yep, thank you.
Okay, seconded by Mike here and others. Any discussion? Legislator John.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I mentioned this, when this came through committee as far as, this new office being established. Very much less to do with who's running it as opposed to the creation of the office itself. It's a once in a lifetime pot of money. I'm pragmatic to the fact that, we want to make sure that we're spending it the right way and that we're allocating it to the proper projects. I'm of the opinion that this is something that could have just been done in community development in-house. I think the desire to create another office just adds another layer of bureaucracy to this, and it's just not funds that are well spent. So I'm going to oppose this amendment. I just don't think it's the right move moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that is 22 in favor, 2 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Martino, do you have anything this evening?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I make a motion to amend various budget to reflect the changes agreed to for the increase in the salaries for the following elected officials, which total in the net increase of $17,392. That would be the county clerk, county treasurer, county sheriff, county legislators.
Thank you. Second. And a second by legislator Krasik. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Mr. Chairman, that's 23 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 excused, and 1 abstained.
Thank you. Legislator House, do you have anything?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have a motion I move to establish a budget department A1171 Public Defender with the accounts below and to adjust the department A1170 as below, renaming it assigned counsel. These actions fund the Public Defender Office using bureau hearing settlement revenue currently budgeted in the assigned counsel. Net cost to the county, 0.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by legislator Klein. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Herbert Yurden, do you have anything to say?
I'd like to make the motion I move the amendment of real property budget as shown below to effect the change adopted by the resolution this afternoon.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
By Legislator Holt. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Stacy, do you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make the motion to amend the Social Security budget to establish an account for witness fees with no impact to the tax levy.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Legislator Greco. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just know we're moving to amend the social services budget, correct, not social security.
My apologies, social services.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's going to take a bigger amendment.
Thank you, Legislator Greco.
Wish we could do it. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Chesbro, do you have anything?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to amend the budget to reflect actual New York State Tourism Matching Funds grant by changing A6-420-437150 from $50,000 to $48,897.
Thank you.
Second.
And seconded by Legislator Freehan. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Lockwood, do you have anything?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to amend to set the community college levy at $4,700,000.
That won't fix Social Security either. Do we have a second?
Second?
Seconded by Legislator Mangano. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Carrasco, do you have anything this evening?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to amend the budget to include the Health Department restructuring plan as attached, which will have a negative impact of $45,542.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Legislator Chesbro. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Michael Yurden.
Yes.
Do you have anything this evening?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to amend the Health Department budget as below at no net change.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Legislator Evans. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Trudell, do you have anything?
Yes, I do, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to amend the budget to add the following grant-funded position to the Health Department as attached.
I would add that there's a net county cost of 0. Do we have a second?
I'd like to second that.
Legislator Gilson seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Wilmot, do you have anything this evening?
Yes, Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to amend various budget personnel lines to reflect the changes agreed to the CSA contract, which total a net increase of $1,098,565.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Legislator Mangano. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Greco.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move to amend the sheriff's budget to include the Director of Administrative Services.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Legislator Stacy. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Gilson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to amend the emergency management budget to include a part-time drone coordinator and equipment with a net levy of $26,913.
Thank you.
I'd like to second that.
Seconded by legislator Walpole. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Klein.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion, and this is an annual motion we make every year. Move all vacation buyback budget items except in A3640, CL8160, and CL8161 into A9075.542200, setting it at $373.68.
I'll second it.
It's thousands. Seconded by legislator Sorrell. Wishful thinking. Any discussion other than wishful thinking?
He's budget conscious.
I vote yes on the amendment.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Next motion by legislator Twist.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to amend the Board of Elections to reflect the following increases in salaries of the commissioners and related FICA.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Legislator Mandel, second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator Wilbur.
Legislator Martino has a motion, I believe.
Yes.
I do? Oh,
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to increase projected sales tax revenue by 1.884458
Million.
to 49,884,458 in sales tax payments to the municipalities, $471,114.
Thank you. Any discussion? We have a second.
I second it.
We have a second by legislator Michael Yurden. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to amend and update the budget for the full valuation of the county to $6,437,196,662.
I'll second that.
Second by legislator Twist. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 22 in favor, 2 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Resolution FP3 by back to FP2. You're correct.
I think if the motions are correct and all of that, with all the work that has been done with these motions, I believe we're at a generic tax rate of $6.95 per thousand.
Thank you. Legislator Strong.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we're able to introduce additional motions, correct? Yep. Under this one, okay, so I just want to make sure I'm in the right place. We're moving quickly. With that being said, I'd like to introduce a motion. I'd like to introduce a motion to amend our 2022 budget to eliminate one position, the Director of Fleet Management. That's found on page 124 of our tentative budget. It is line 513-029-001. Director of Fleet Management, tentative scheduled at $63,354. Its position is not needed, and it's scheduled to inherit close to a $6,000 raise. I would make a motion to amend our budget to remove this position. And I would look for a second.
I'll second that.
We have a motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Mr. Chairman, that's 2 in favor, 22 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Legislator John, others?
I believe Legislator Schreiber.
Legislator Shaw.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to eliminate the legislative raises.
I would second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Mr. Chairman, that's 2 in favor, 22 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Are there others? Legislator John.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make this amendment first. I'll look for a second, and then I'd like to discuss in the discussion section as well. So I'd like to make an amendment to the budget, reducing line A 1010-546-500, which is the line that funds Operation Oswego County. I'd like to reduce that budget line by 20%, taking it from $417,100 down to $300,033,680. That would be a net reduction to that budget line of $83,420. I would like to allocate that savings to our preventative services line, which exists under the Department of Social Services. That line currently sits at $4,100,539. With the additional revenue that I'm asking for via this amendment of $83,420, that would bring that new line in the preventative services contracts to $4,215,959. I would look for a second, and then I have discussion on it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
We have a second.
And then just discussion, if I could.
Okay. Any discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is, it's no secret, certainly from this afternoon, and certainly my feelings since my tenure on the legislature, our return on investment with what's being allocated to Operation Oswego County is just not up to par. I don't think it's been up to par for years, and I'd much rather see that money, which now is currently paying 6 figures to people over at Operation Oswego County, to not do a whole heck of a lot. I'd rather see that money get allocated into this preventative services line, which directly impacts not only children on the ground, but people that are struggling with mental health, people who are low income, people who are poor. And it's a great budget line that funds a lot of important projects in this county. Frankly, I'm sick of seeing Mike Treadwell collect 6 figures at Operation Oswego County while our social issues in this county continue to be a major barrier to issue in this county. So I'm not gutting Operation Oswego County, but I'd certainly like them to make do with 20% less and see that money be put to a much stronger and more important cause, in my opinion. I'd ask for a roll call vote on that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, we've asked for a roll call vote.
Michael Yerden.
No.
Herbert Yerden.
No.
Edward Gilson.
No.
David Holtz.
No.
Roy Rehill.
No.
John Martino.
No.
Bradley Trudell.
No.
Paul House.
No.
James Weatherup.
No.
Mary Ellen Chesbro.
No.
Linda Lockwood.
No.
Richard Klein.
Absolutely not.
Patrick Twist.
No.
Stephen Walpole.
No.
Nathan Emmons.
No.
Thomas Drum.
Yes.
Laura Nagano.
No.
Robert Wilmot.
No.
Marie Shaw.
Yes.
Tim Stahl's been marked excused. Terry Wilbur.
No.
James Parasic.
No.
Morris Cerbello.
No.
Mark Greco.
No.
Ralph Stacy Jr. Mr. Chairman, that's 2 in favor, 22 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Are there others?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Legislator Shaw?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, thank you. So now I believe we're back to the original resolution on the budget.
As amended.
As amended. That's correct. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that is 22 in favor, 2 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. All right, everybody take a breath. Yes. Moving now to FP3 by Legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution making appropriation for the conduct of county government for the fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a continuation of government services from 2021 to 2022.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Resolution FP4 by Legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution appropriating funds in the 2022 budget in regard to full funded grant projects.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is moving grant funds from 2021 into the 2022 budget.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you. Resolution FP5 by Legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution increasing existing appropriations for various funds in several offices and departments.
Last but not least, this is year-end budget balance out from 21 to 22 to housekeeping end of year.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 24 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 excused.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Resolution now GC2 by Legislator Holmes.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution for its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing chairman and clerk to handle all unfinished business through December 31st, 2021.
Pretty much as it reads. Yeah, we're going to finish it up, finish the year for us.
Pretty scary. Any discussion?
Question.
Yes, Legislator Shaw.
Is there a financial cutoff for this? I mean, government doesn't cease to exist. If something big came up, would we be called back? I mean, I know this goes on every year, it just always bothers me.
My understanding is this is keep the lights on, the phones paid, that type of stuff. Anything big, I would make sure everybody knew anyway.
But is there a cap? Is there
A financial cap?
Financial cap?
I believe there is a number per se. Legislator Wilbur.
Isn't it, if we don't pass this, we have to come in on New Year's Eve and do all this, all these resolutions and everything all over?
This is to direct,
Well, I mean,
it also includes directing litigation that may arise between now and then, verifying pleadings, things like that, that may not require the full legislature. It could be routine things and generic government litigation or some other stuff. So I would agree with the chair that if something serious arose, the legislature should be called back. But you have a couple holidays.
even if it is?
Yeah. So, or call a virtual meeting of the legislature, which we're not allowed to do.
but 59, we're all here for a meeting, right?
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 22 in favor, 2 opposed, and 1 excused.
All right, thank you. So that concludes our resolutions for 2021, as we know it. Any unfinished business? Any miscellaneous business? That's a clear vote.
Yeah, I'd just like to, our caucus, thank County Administrator Church, Budget Analyst Turner, and all the staff that put a lot of time and effort through the various departments into helping us get this budget where it is today. And I'll leave you with a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Public comment period. Last chance to take a shot at us in 2021.
Nobody signed up.
Move to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Thank you.